So I have made a lot of animated music videos, or AMVs, this year. I don't think I have ever in my life pushed out so many AMVs in so little time, but I haven't actually made an AMV in which I am not somehow limiting myself since about a year ago with this one. I have done a lot of these challenges in which I draw with a mouse, or animate in Windows Paint, or finish an AMV in like 3 days, though that wasn't a challenge. What I'm trying to say is that it has been a while since I have just made an AMV that really shows what I can do. And a part of that is because I don't think me just talking about how I made an AMV would be a very interesting video. But what if I took an old AMV I have made and then remade it to show how far I've come? I have made a lot of improvement content already on this channel, remaking map parts, drawings, all kinds of things, because I personally find it really inspiring to see how far people can come in just a few years. And judging by you people's comments, many of you seem to share that sentiment, so sounds great, let's remake an animated music video. So I decided to remake my second oldest AMV, Feathertail and Crowpaw, something entirely new. I picked this one instead of my oldest AMV, Holy Leaf and Soul, Who Are You Really? Because that one is a mess and really long. Well, I mean, it's longer than the AMVs that I'm used to doing. Like, it's basically just the life of two Warrior Cats characters shoved into this one song with little rhyme or reason. The pacing is horrendous, and I am not making a 2.5 minute long AMV, I would die! Something entirely new, on the other hand, still has some problems with pacing, but the concept is alright, and the AMV is short enough to not kill me. Let's talk a little about this old AMV. The song Something Entirely New is from Steven Universe, from one of my all-time favorite episodes of the show, in fact. I remember setting myself an alarm at 6 AM in the morning so that I could pirate this episode before school, because I was just so excited for it. And after seeing the episode, I just couldn't get it out of my head. So one night I had a dream about the Something Entirely New scene from the episode, but instead of it being about Ruby and Sapphire, it was about Crowpaw and Feathertail from Warrior Cats. Then I woke up and was like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea! And thus this AMV was born. I made it in GIMP and Windows Movie Maker, and according to the video description, it took me a month to make and has 525 frames in it. This AMV was made in the beginning of 2016 and it is now September of 2021, so the AMV is about 5.5 years old. Let's see if it still holds up. I can already see that the backgrounds are very blurry. That's an easy fix, just don't make them blurry. I would maybe reduce the amount of things happening here. Not all of these scenes need to be here. So these character designs, they are fine. They are recognizable from these designs, and the designs are still easy enough to animate.
I'm so sorry.
That's really jarring. I made this AMV, I already know that that's a gravestone, but it's confusing, so I might want to have some like transitional scenes in between there. Give people a little time to understand what just happened. This scene is fine, there's nothing wrong with it. This AMV is probably one of my better old AMVs, so like it doesn't need that much change. So to summarize what needed to be changed, aside from just generally improving the execution, which to be fair, no matter how good I would have been at drawing back when I made this, there are a lot of things that I just wouldn't have been able to do editing wise since Windows Movie Maker didn't support multiple layers. But anyways, what I wanted to change in my remake was, first of all, improve the pacing, because right now the AMV is a little bit difficult to follow. Especially the time skip to the time after Feathertail has already died is a little jarring. Some of this can probably be fixed with just slightly reducing the amount of camera shots so that the remaining shots have a little more time to sink in. Secondly, I wanted to add some establishing shots to show off the environment a little more. In the original AMV, there are like none of them, so the viewer won't really know where the characters are and is left to piece that together during the scene, when a wider shot at the beginning could be used to let them know right away. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, needed some establishing shots. I started the process by making some character designs. The original character designs actually were already pretty good. There wasn't much at all that I wanted to change about them, just refine them a little bit, make the colors a little more appealing. When making character designs for bigger animated projects, it might be a good idea to keep them relatively simple because every extra detail that you add, you're going to have to draw hundreds of times, and that can very quickly start adding up to more and more time spent on drawing that single detail instead of improving the overall quality of the project. I didn't 100% follow the original designs that I made, but it was still useful to have them. I changed the colors of these designs with every scene to make them better match the colors of the backgrounds and have the characters blend in more nicely. I also made some background references that I would follow to some extent, and then created a general storyboard to give me an idea of what I wanted to do with this AMV before starting to work on the animation. Around this time I also decided that I would try to get 2 shots of the AMV done every day. So for those who don't know, by shot I mean one piece of the scene that is between quote-unquote camera cuts. So this here is one shot, and here we see 2 different shots, one after another. The reason that I set myself kind of a rule like this is because when you're making an AMV, you're going to need to cut some corners. This is not a 5-second animation. If you put the same amount of effort into 5 seconds of AMV as you would into a 5-second map part or animation loop, then finishing the AMV is going to take a very long time. Or in my case, I would probably lose interest and then I wouldn't get it done at all, and then that would just be a huge waste of time. By promising myself that I'll do 2 shots a day, that means that I can't work on just one bit of animation forever, and that this will force me to think of ways that I can get it done faster. Like with this shot. In the original I have fully animated it, but by the time I started working on it now, it was my 2nd shot of the day, and it was already 6 p.m, so I realized that I wouldn't be able to fully animate it and ended up making it into a tween instead. Which, honestly, I think it might actually work better for this scene. The 2 shots a day rule also meant that I wouldn't be allowed to do more than 2 a day, which is good, because I sometimes have the tendency to get into the flow of animating, and then I just work for so long that I completely burn myself out, and the next day I'm going to feel like crap, and then I won't be able to work on anything at all. 2 shots a day is already a lot of work, so taking up any more than that would have definitely been too much. I didn't actually start working with the first scene of the AMV because I had a lot of trouble deciding on what I wanted to have in it. I tried a lot of different things and ended up actually going back to read the part of the book that these events take place during to figure out what I wanted to do with the scene. In the meantime, I worked on the other scenes. The 2nd scene of the original AMV is one in which Crowpaw and Feathertail are stargazing, much like in the Steven Universe episode, and while there's nothing inherently wrong with that scene, I decided that I want to do something a little different. So I made a scene with waterfalls. So in the book, the scene would probably take place when the Kitty Cat gang is visiting the tribe of Rushing Water, since they have a waterfall there. And this is actually where Feathertail ends up dying, so you know. I wanted to do a pretty scene, but this particular setting also kind of alludes to the fact that Feathertail is going to die. So yay, 2 birds with 1 stone. That's a horrible thing to say. What is English? The English language. Why? Why are you throwing stones at birds? I don't think I have ever really animated waterfalls before. Fortunately, I happen to have a lot of video references at my disposal since I quite recently visited a waterfall and obviously took videos of it. This is me on the waterfall. This is my dad ruining my shot by lingering in it. He is worried that I'm going to slip and fall to my death because I'm climbing a waterfall in my Crocs. I didn't fall to my death, just in case that wasn't clear. But that was a tangent. Enough about Hevon Persia, back to the AMV. The waterfalls in this AMV actually only have 3 frames in total. All the waterfalls are composed of those same 3 frames and then just copy and pasted to form the scene. I made the decision that I would construct all the backgrounds from sort of these building blocks. One piece is the background color, another is a waterfall, then another waterfall, then the ground, some fog, etc. And I would use these same pieces to build every background of each scene. Making backgrounds like this is faster than drawing every background from scratch and can help maintain consistency. There are some things that you won't be able to do with this method, but overall I felt that it worked really well and helped me save time, so I had more time to put towards nice editing and drawing more frames. This method also made me discover that my editing program has a layer limit. Or I mean a track limit, they call them tracks, but I'm calling them layers. Turns out that in the several years that I have had this program for, I never knew that you couldn't have more than 20 layers because I have just never needed that many. And for most of those years I have been using a laptop that couldn't really handle more than 5. It didn't really have any massive effect on the AMV, it just meant that I couldn't add more background waterfalls to this shot, which honestly it didn't need more, I just wanted more. Remember that for the original AMV I only had one editing layer, so I continued making 2 shots every day. Whether I had had 12 hours or 3 hours of sleep, I would make the 2 shots. I obviously didn't have to pick a song for this AMV since I had already picked it years ago, but I still decided to use a cover of the song instead of the original song from Steven Universe because, I don't know, I wouldn't bother with having the voices fit the characters, but in this case, when I was watching the original, I noticed that Ruby's voice for Crowpaw kind of made him sound like a child. And like, Crowpaw is younger than Feathertail, but he's not that young. So I went to YouTube to see if there were any covers of the song that would fit better, and lo and behold, the actual first cover that I found was just perfect. The voices sounded a lot like how I imagined Crowpaw and Feathertail should sound like, so I switched on to working with that cover. However, we won't be hearing that cover in this video because YouTube has this thing that it does, that if you use a piece of music in one part of your video, YouTube hands all of your revenue from all of the video to the owners of that song. And I like to be able to buy groceries and pay rent, so I went looking for a cover that would stray a little more from the original so that YouTube wouldn't recognize it as the same song, but no dice. The algorithms would always recognize the song. They have gotten really good at this. So I had to get a little creative. I'm going to be uploading the AMV separately with the actual audio that I chose, but oh my god. I'm so sorry.
Where did we go? What did we do? I think we made something entirely new. And it wasn't quite me. And it wasn't quite you. I think it was someone entirely new. Oh. Well, I just can't stop thinking.
So. Did you say I was different?
And you hadn't before?
Of course not. When would I have ever?
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be.
And now you're here forever.
What about you?
What about me?
Well, you're here too. We're here together.
Yeah! As I said, I'll be uploading this AMV separately in a couple of days. I want to wait a bit to give people the chance to watch this video first, since again I won't be making any money for the upload of the AMV because of the audio. I hope you liked the AMV, I sure did, I think it's pretty nice. Of course, because I'm the person who made it, I'm seeing all kinds of little mistakes and things I could have done better, and that you guys probably wouldn't notice or care about, but overall I am very happy with how it turned out. This video is also the last video that I had on the list of videos that I wanted to make, so now is a good time to give me more suggestions, though university work is just picking up again, so I probably won't be able to make quite as much content as I have made in the past months. Thank you so much for watching this video. The AMV took me 2 weeks of very hard work to make and ended up having a total of about 500 frames. So yeah, I really appreciate that you managed to sit through this entire video. Tell me in the comments if you think that I should upload the version of the AMV with my own very cool audio separately in addition to the one with the actual audio. because you know, nothing's stopping me from doing that. I just wonder if I should. Yeah, that's all. Bye!